you live from Boston. So welcome. For some of you, this is a welcome back. If this is your first time, my name is Jeff Siegel, and I'm going to be leading you through today's class called Breathe, Stretch, and Surrender. We're going to spend 45 minutes working on some breathing, some stretching, some foam rolling, myofascial release, and ending with just a little bit of mindfulness and meditation. So a few things I just want to announce before we get started. Right? One, right? Maybe you've already worked out today. Maybe this is the very first thing you're doing for your body. What's important is that you're here. You're with us. You're doing this. Right? That's amazing. And also, we should recognize that there are a lot of people that are not here, that can't be here, right? That are still out there working because they have no other choice. So something that I often like to do is just dedicate my practice for those who can't practice. So if you want to just send out some thoughts or some good energy to people who might need a little bit of support right now in these difficult times, you can go ahead and do that. Or if you want to type into the chat box anybody that you would like to dedicate your practice to, I always find this to be a really nice aspect of taking care of ourselves in service of others.
Give another minute or two for people to join.
So just thinking about that. Another reminder, right? What are you going to need for today's class? You're going to need a mat, or if you don't have a mat, lay down a towel, clear out some space, get some rug, right? As long as you feel comfortable lying, rolling, standing around. Second thing you're going to need is a foam roller, all right? If you do not have a foam roller at home, check out my last video. I showed you some quick and easy ways that you can make yourself a foam roller with a water bottle and a towel. And then lastly, today we're going to be using some balls, all right? If you have a tennis ball, or I like a lacrosse ball, it just gives you a little bit more pressure to get a little bit deeper into the tissue for some of these releases, right? If you don't have a ball, get creative, maybe steal your dog toy or steal one of your children's like play balls, or you can find something, you just need to kind of smash it into there. We'll make it work, okay? So I want to just, remind you as we're going through this, right? How things look and feel in my body are going to be different from how things look and feel in your body. So this is less about trying to follow along and look like me, and more about sort of tuning into your own experience and just paying attention to the sensations that are present. Remember, when we get to certain parts of the body that are holding a lot of tension, right, it can be pretty uncomfortable. So when you reach that edge, remember you have a choice. You can back off and go place somewhere that is a little bit easier, or just ask, what if I could lean into this a little bit? What if I could stay with this a tiny bit longer? Right? Just hold on to this idea of productive discomfort, because that's often where a lot of beautiful things happen when it comes to both body work and with exercise. So I'll leave that framing there for you as we're going through.
Do they want to play music?
And so the last thing to just keep in mind as we're doing this class, right, you might want to slow down and stick with the body part for longer. Great, right? I want to empower you to take care of yourself, to become an expert on your own body, right? So feel free to speed things up or slow things down as we're going through this process. And also, I want you to just think about, I want this to not only be a good experience, I want this to be a great experience. So think about, how can you make this moment right here great? Right? Maybe that means adjust the lighting. Maybe that means light a candle. Maybe that means put on your favorite music. Right? Maybe that means invite your friends and family in. Maybe that means lock the door and push your friends and family out. I don't know, whatever you need to do to make this great. Okay? I want you to have a really good experience for the next 45 minutes together. So last time we started working from our head up. Today we're going to be working from our feet, all right, and then up through the body. So I'm going to have you begin sort of standing on your mat or wherever you are, all right? And we're going to begin again with the hands. Now you take your hands together and just begin with a kind of slow and steady rubbing of the hands. And this always reminds me of Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. It's something sort of evil, but no, there's nothing evil about this. I want you to think about your hands, right, as this wonderful source of creativity. What do? You make things with your hands, incredible source of power. So just get that power in your hands, go a little bit faster, just generating a little bit of heat. Right, sourcing the power into your hands a little bit faster, and then we're going to go right to the top of the head, and I want you just to start tapping the top of your head. And I have no idea how this sounds coming through my earbuds, and we're going to just kind of working and just coming down to the side of your head, tapping your temples, And just a nice, light, easy, kind of gentle little tap, and then down to your forehead, maybe coming down around your eyes, into your cheeks, right? And just waking up the body. Right? You can tap all the way down behind the jaw. Notice the sensations coming down to the chin, and then down around the neck, tapping here. Right? We're just waking up your body, and then we're going to come down to the collarbone, and then right into the center of your chest bone. Right? And if you've ever done EFT, you might be familiar with some of these tapping points. And I'm going to go from a tap to just using your palms. So I want you just to, all right, just kind of give yourself a gentle little touch. Again, in this period of social isolation, there's such this deprivation of touch, of closeness. So we're going to kind of wake up our body. I want you to hit every possible area you can with just a gentle little tap as we're going through here. Right. Waking everything up, wake up that butt, get those cheeks going, coming down into the sides of the legs, into the fronts of the legs. Breathe. And just tap in. All right. Feel free to make some noise. You're at home. Right? Don't be shy. All right. Whatever it sounds like. It's good. You're going to come down into the lower legs. Just kind of waking it up. Hey, say, hey, calf. Good morning. Good evening. Down into the shins. Down into the feet. See if you can get the bottom of the feet. We're going to hit those feet. And then I want you to just end in this position. Just hang here for a moment. Take a breath. And then I want to ask, what do you notice in this position? Right? What are you noticing in your body? Are you noticing that your weight is maybe shifted more onto one foot than the other? Are you noticing maybe some tension down here? Are you noticing tension up in your back? Do you notice any tightness in your head, in your neck? Right? I want you just to kind of take an assessment of your body in this position. Right? We're gathering data to help us figure out, okay, how is our body configured right now so we can tune it. I think of it as like we're going to be like tuning like a violin or a guitar, right? Restringing things, so when you come out of this, you're just going to be resonating. It's going to be beautiful. So just hanging out for here, noticing how you feel, and then I'm just going to have you kind of work your way back up to standing. And we're going to begin by working into our feet. Right? Every day, our feet show up big time for us. Right? They take us wherever we want to go, and they don't complain usually. So let's take care of our feet. There's actually a ton of bones, a ton of tiny little bones and muscles in the feet. We often neglect them by shoving them into shoes. So I want you to do, just starting, feeling your weight kind of evenly on both feet, standing up nice and tall. And then just try rolling to the outside edge of your feet. And notice how that feels. And then leaning a little bit into one side, coming back to center, leaning a little bit into the other side. And just play around with that weight shift. One side to the other, feeling the outer edge of your foot into the floor. And then come back down to that full foot. And now what we're going to do is we're going to work on pulling our knees to one side and allowing our weight to shift. So I'm on the outer edge of one foot and the inner edge of the other foot. And then I'm going to come back to center and I'm going to go the other way, shift. Outer edge of the other foot and then instep and then back. And now we're going to sync this with our breathing. So I'm going to have you kind of exhale as you move the knees and the feet to one side. And then inhale, back up to center. Exhale, shift to the other side. Inhale, back up to center. Keep going. Exhale. And back up. Play with the edge again. How far can you go? Exhale. Weight shifting, right? We're working the ankles back up. One more time each side. Exhale. Sinking in. This is like some slow, mindful, like slalom. Back up. And go the other way. Shift. Exhale. And then back up. Nice. So it's a really great way to kind of work eversion of the ankle. Now we're going to go front and back. So we're going to inhale and we'll rise up onto our toes. And then exhale, sink back and lift our toes up as if you're going to fall backwards. So you're going to shift the weight onto your heels. Okay, so inhale up. Exhale, shift that weight back. Inhale up. Exhale, shift that weight back. Coming up and down. All right, we're going to slow this down as much as we can. It can be hard to balance. I feel myself not to fall over, right? Spread those toes out. Really, I want you to wake up the whole bottoms of your feet. Feeling that weight shift from the front side to the back side. Rising and falling. Now on this next one, I'm going to have you breathe in and up. We're going to hold at the top for a moment. So at the top of the breath, see if you can hold this position nice and tall. And then exhale, coming back down. Hold at the bottom. Breathing back in. Hold. And then back down. Hold. One more time. Make this the best. Ready? Up. And down. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to get the arms involved. So I'm going to have you breathe in and rise up onto your toes, arms lifting overhead, nice big stretch. And then exhale, arms come down, weight shifts back onto the heels. Again, breathing in and up. Feel those fingers reach, 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 and down. And up. 3 more times. Breathe and smile. 2 more. Right? I want you to just start inhabiting your body with love. It's not always easy. That's part of the practice. Reach, stretch, hold it, hold that breath, and then let it go. Okay. And that's a fun practice that you can do anytime during your day. If you are stuck at home, if you're working, if you need a little break, a little stretch break, really good to work your shoulders, your ankles, the breath, right? Do it with your family. Take that one, play with it, okay? So next what we're going to do is I'm going to start a little release of the plantar fascia on the bottom of the feet. So I'm going to have you grab one of your balls here, placing it down on the floor, okay? And just standing on it ever so slightly, and then just beginning to just gently roll the ball back and forth, all right? Just exploring the bottom of your foot, noticing the sensation there, right? Notice where kind of like you want to go, notice where you don't want to go with the ball. Remembering to breathe as you do this. And then we're going to come into 5 mindful breaths with the release of our foot. So what I'm going to have you do is sort of start with the ball sort of right near the top of your foot up by the toes. Okay. And if you want to even drop the heel down, you can. And you can do this with your eyes open, your eyes closed. What I want you to do is just breathe in. Feel yourself getting nice and light, and then exhale. I want you to gently push your foot down into that ball. And then move the ball ever so slightly back, like maybe a half an inch, and then same thing, breathing in. And then exhale, feel your weight sink down through your body, into your foot, into the floor, into that ball. And then we move the ball down the foot a little bit more, breathing in. Exhale. Tuning into that weight, pressing into the ball. And again, productive discomfort is what we're going for. Shift it back and breathe. Exhale, sink that weight down into the ball. And one more time, shifting it to a new spot on your foot. Breathe in and then sink it down. Stay with it a little bit longer. And then just give that ball a little more of a wiggle down on the bottom of the foot, and we're going to work into the other side, okay? If you discovered some new things, you're like, wow, I never knew that my foot could feel that way. All right, great, I love it. This is a discovery process that we are going through together. I'm happy to be on this journey with you. So we'll go to the other side here, placing the ball. All right, just starting again with some gentle passes. We kind of just want to like warm up the tissue. All right, so the beautiful thing, right, your body is connected by these lines of fascia that run actually from the bottom of your foot all the way up the backside of your body, through your butt, through your back, through your neck, even wrapping around your skull, right? So like from the top of your head all the way to your foot is connected. And so today we're going to help kind of release and retension that. So now starting with our 5 slow deep breaths, setting the ball at the top of your foot, breathing in, exhaling, pressing down, sinking your weight into that ball. When you're ready, reshifting, breathing in, and then exhale. Remember, there's no rush, there's no hurry. The longer the exhale, the better. Shift it, breathe it in, let it go, right? And as you let it go, think about the stress, the tension just releasing out of your body, moving into the floor, letting it dissipate. Shift the ball, breathe it in, drop it down, right? The breath can move energy, right? And help let go of the tension. Shift it again, down. Let's go one more time. Just find a new spot that maybe you haven't hit before, and then hold it. Let it go. Pressing in, and then give it a nice, this time a little bit more of a roll there. Good. All right. Okay. And so we're going to kind of push that ball to the side for a moment. Okay. So here's going to be sort of like our little test. I'm going to have you take your hands down on your thighs, and you're just going to roll forward, slide the hands down, allow your head to drop. So we're going to drop back into this forward fold again. Right? So 5 minutes ago, I asked you, right? Notice, what does it feel like to be in this position? So again, notice, what does it feel like to be in this position compared to 5 minutes ago? Does anything feel different? Are you able to get a little bit lower? Right? Again, it's amazing how even just by releasing the foot, we can actually free up and impact other structures in the body, running all the way down the backside. So just noticing, again, what's tight, tired, balanced, imbalanced, whatever it is, all data for us to work with. So I'm going to have you actually push your hands down onto the floor. We're going to step ourselves back into a down dog position. And this is just going to allow us to get a nice stretch through the backside of the body. So as much as you can, I want you to shift your weight back into your heels, allow your head to drop down between your arms. Take a nice deep exhale. Noticing any tension or pull that you feel in the back. And we're going to shift from this down dog position, and then I want you to move your weight forward, right? Pull your shoulders over your hands, then drop your legs down, drop your hips down. We're going to come into sort of an up dog, or if you want to come to some sort of cobra, you can be up on your toes, you can have your legs down. Just want to lift the chest. Take the shoulders, roll your shoulder blades down away from your ears. Pull the top of your head up. Pull your chest and breastbone, boom, shooting up towards the corner of your room. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, lift the hips, push back to that down dog. And as you do this, notice, maybe you can get a little bit deeper. From here, I'm going to have you lift both of your heels, shift them to the right side a few inches, and then drop them down. So and then try to push really hard into your left hand so you can feel that length moving up through the side of your body. Take a breath here. Then lifting up, come back to center, and then go to the other direction. Drop the heels down the other way. Push through the other arm. Exhale. Find that side body stretch in this down dog. Come back to center. And drop those heels down. Breathe in, shift that weight forward. Exhale, drop the hips, and then inhale, find your stretch here. Opening up. See if you can get a little bit deeper. And then exhale, lift the hips, come back to that down dog. If you want to pedal the feet out a little bit, whatever feels good for you, we're going to do that one more time, just going through this nice sort of flexion and extension of the spine. And however you want to get into this position, shifting forward. If you really want to go for it, you can come up onto the tops of your feet and then drop the hips. Pull the shoulders down away from your ears. Lift. Open your chest. Scrunch your back, but don't pinch anything too tight here. We're still going to be working on this. Good. And then bend your knees. Just push back to child's pose for a second, if that feels good for your body. All right, we're going to keep working now down into our legs. Okay, so this next one, we're going to do a combination pigeon and shin release with the foam roller. I love this as sort of a 2-for-1. So I'm going to take the roller here, right? pigeon pose. From our down dog position, you're going to reach one knee forward, pull the foot up towards your hand, and you're going to kind of sink your hips down like this. Except this time we're going to be doing that with your foot on the roller. So I pull my knee forward, I place my shin down on the roller, and then I begin to slide my weight towards the floor. If you can see this position. Now again, you might not be able to get in this position. It's totally okay if you want to do a regular pigeon on the floor without the roller, or if you want to come into the shin rolling that I showed last time, sort of this rolling this way, okay? But see if you can ease yourself into this position. Again, exhaling, feeling your weight descending downward. And then beginning with some gentle rolls up and along the outside, kind of hitting the upper outside of your shin. Right, you can roll all the way from the ankle up to the knee. And just being mindful of other places you're holding tension in your body, right? You don't want to stress or strain one thing in order to release another. It can be kind of tricky when you're in these sort of weird positions to not want to tense up, but as much as you can, just bring that relaxation. And again, wherever you want to stop and hang out, right? You find a little point, right? Especially here, you might kind of roll across something that goes, ooh, like there's something there, right? Let me give you a little tip. Sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing. Just stay there. Just breathe. Just be with it. And then little movements. So I'm going to have you hit both sides here, whatever way feels right for you. Just coming into the other side and rolling through that shin. Feeling free to stop whenever you need to stop, adjusting the roller. You know, there isn't one perfect right way to do this. It's going to look different depending on your roller and how big it is and how hard it is and your body and your hips. Right? It's like, just notice, like, are you getting a nice little kind of hip stretch? Are you getting a little bit of that pressure and myofascial release into the front of your shin? All right, and we're going to kind of let that go. Come into this position. Now, for some of you, this might be enough of a stretch, just sitting here, right? Kind of into the knees and especially into the ankles. All right, if you want to go big time, I'm going to shift my weight back. I'm going to try to pull my knees off the mat, really getting a deep stretch into the front of the ankle. Sometimes I'll use the roller like a little kickstand, pop it under my knees, and just kind of hang out here. All right. This is a position that I recommend spending a little bit of time in during your day. You know, squats, this, down dogs, hanging. You know, if I could design my own day of movement, like these would all be very essential parts of it. So hanging out here, a little weight shift side to side, that feels okay. Or just staying in this position, trying to sink your weight down. We're going to go into releasing and working through the calves. So I'm going to have you sit down on your butt. All right, this is our starting position here. The problem with this is there's not a whole lot of weight. There's not a whole lot of pressure pushing down. So it kind of feels kind of lame, you know. Superficially it's nice. But when you really want to do deep work, and deep work is the best work, also the most uncomfortable work. So we need a little bit more pressure. What can you do? You can cross one leg over the other. That can kind of help you get a little more pressure. You can also come up, lift yourself off the ground. This obviously takes a little more strength through your upper back, through your triceps. But now you're getting a little bit of work there, and you can kind of roll, right? Or, I don't know, if you have a kid or a dog, like plop them down on your legs, have them sit there, and then you can kind of roll out that way. Anything that's going to help you get more pressure here into the calf, do that, okay? And the other thing I want you to do is not just work up and back, but work across the tissue. So I'm kind of rolling from one side, rolling to the other side. Again, like a violin, we're strumming against the grain of the muscle fibers in different ways here. And so just kind of working through both of your calves. All right. Again, notice if one calf feels tighter than the other, right? Maybe you have a tendency to shift weight onto one foot, or maybe you have some limitations in your ankle or your knee that's causing that calf to work harder. Right? Ooh, found some nuggets. Always something new to discover there. Breathe. Again, sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing. Just sit with it and let gravity do the work, let your body release, because your body's always changing. We just want to be intentional actors helping co-direct that change. All right. So kind of getting into those calves. Oh yes. All right. And then we're going to come up into the hamstrings. So a couple options here. One is sitting on your roller, kind of in the same position, and just sort of rolling out both legs here. Now again, this feels nice, but it tends to be kind of superficial in the sense that we're only hitting the sort of outermost layers of the muscle and the fascia here. And really we want to get pretty deep. So here I'd like to move to a ball. So tennis ball, all right? Think about that area I call the thud, right? Where your thigh meets your butt. Go right there, and then maybe down like a half an inch, all right? And you just want to place the ball right under it and then sort of sink your weight on top. Now, so again, some of the challenges, there's a lot of tissue, you might not feel it, right? Your thud sucks the ball up. You're like, I don't even know where that tennis ball went, and just disappeared into my thud. All right, so either if that's happening, go to a lacrosse ball or take a book and elevate it. All right, brought out one of my favorites. All right, this is free promo, salt, fat, acid, heat. Great. Next time we'll do a cooking show. All right, place the ball on the book. That's going to elevate it, give you a little bit more lift, enable you to get a little bit more pressure. Okay, and then just sort of sit on the ball. All right, and you just want to hang out there and just gentle little movements, sort of rocking left to right, noticing that tissue and getting into that hamstrings, inserts into the bottom. This can be a good release. One other option is if you have a wall, is scoot your butt all the way back up against the wall, right? All the way back up, sitting nice and tall, and try to get your legs as straight as possible. If you have really tight hamstrings, like this is gonna be a stretch in and of itself. Hanging out here from this position, take that ball, popping it right under, and just kind of working there. Again, trying to maybe push a little bit more weight down if you need to, or lifting yourself up off the floor, right? And I'm doing these like tiny little circles, just working into the tissue. All right, you're gonna discover something. And again, we wanna be gentle, but we also wanna try to get in there. You know, and there's, it's often described as sort of this like toothache sort of feeling that you might get. That's normal. Right? If you notice something going numb, you're probably hitting your sciatic nerve, so back off of that. I want you to be able to like walk yourself out of here when we're done. Okay? And just getting that release through the hamstrings. Right? There's a lot of tissue there, it's pretty deep. This is something where it's like you could sit on this for like 3, 4, 5 minutes and just allow the kind of all the work in to the tissue. But I want to keep things moving along, so just take another breath wherever you're at with this release or this roll. And then we're going to work into the top part of the legs, okay? So I'm going to have us come down facing the floor on top of our roller, and let's just start with a couple of nice passes of the roller up and back, all right, from the knees all the way up to the groin. So with all of this, right, this is sort of level 1 where we begin. Level 2 is sort of coming up into one leg. And this is what I want to do because I want to actually work not just like the rectus femoris, like main quad. I actually want to get inside to our inner thigh, to the adductors. All right, because these are actually connected up through your abs, through your chest. They actually help influence that forward posture, that kyphosis that often we, from just spending too much time sitting or curled in front of a device. So believe it or not, stretching your inner thigh can actually help improve your posture all the way up through your shoulders. So how do we do that? Okay, we kind of take the roller at an angle. I stretch my leg out to the side, and I'm going to kind of be hitting it in this direction here, working all the way up towards my pelvis, and then back down towards my knee. And so see if you can kind of work here into the inner thigh, the adductors. All right. You might discover something new somewhere along the way. Again, pause there. Right? Slower is generally better. Breathe. And as you're doing this, right, you're just sort of wiggling around. You might get some stretches and through the other parts of your body, just being in this position. Right? And you can also think about, again, rolling kind of forward and back. So we're working across the muscle fibers too. Shifting to the other side. And just working. This is something you can do with the ball. Actually, you know what? We'll do that with the ball. I'll show you one more. Just hitting the hip flexors with the ball. Ooh, this side. See? I don't know why, but this side. This side's got all sorts of new things to say today. That's sort of the fun of this. It's like, hey body, what stories do you have to tell me today? And the important part is listening. A lot of times we don't listen. A lot of times our heads are just sort of dictating to our bodies, like, go here, do this, move that way, right? We need two-way communication. We need to listen and respond with care. All right. And so one more great release to kind of show you. This one can be a little bit hard to find, but it's really important because our hip flexors tend to get locked in a shortened position because we're spending all this time sitting, right? So these muscles here, right, they kind of get pulled, they prevent us from doing this, right? And when these get sort of locked in a short position, our butt often sort of like turns off, or glutes get lazy, cause all sorts of problems. Don't want that to happen. So what we're gonna do here is sort of feel that kind of around your ASIS, like feel your hip bone, your pelvis, and then kind of walk yourself down maybe an inch or two into some of the tissue right there on the top of your thigh. This is where a bunch of the muscles kind of insert. We want to take the ball right there into that area, and then you're just going to pop yourself down onto the floor and then just drive as much pressure as you can right into it. Same idea, let gravity do the work. Let your breath move energy around. Just be here. All right, smile, sing to yourself, wave, type in something to the chat box, whatever emoji you're feeling like is coming up for you right now, show it to me, all right? Love it. And just working through here, and you can kind of hit both sides. And again, if you have a tennis ball, you might want to elevate on a book, just kind of play around with what's going to give you that best pressure here into these points. It's a great release. So I've been spending a lot of time in the lower body, super important, but I just want to give our back a little bit of love. All right, so we're going to kind of work the roller now through our back in a few different ways. So coming down, again, sort of setting the roller right about your shoulder blades. And just, I like to start here with my hands behind my head, pull my chin in down towards my chest, all right, and then just beginning to kind of roll up towards my neck, and then gently pulling my chin down as I move that roller ever so slowly, vertebra by vertebra. You might even be able to notice a little bit of a crack if you're coming down through that thoracic spine. Breathing, pulling the head forward as if you're going to do a little sit-up or a little crunch. Should feel your abs actually engage here, working. This is nice. Getting some extra core work as we do this, right? And then keep coming down, you know. When you hit your lower back area, pause there. We don't want to mess around too much with the lumbar spine. And then just kind of work yourself back up. So a couple of variations. One that we played around with last time is taking the arms all the way overhead, right? And it's like, if you notice, I can get my butt and my head to hit the ground at the same time, right? Got a lot of thoracic extension. That's what we want. We want our upper back to be really mobile, because if it's not, then not only do we have bad posture, but then we ask our bodies to find that mobility elsewhere, and that puts a lot of strain into the lower back, into the hips, into the shoulders, leads to all sorts of problems. So reaching overhead, trying to get that nice big stretch through the front side and feeling that extension through your upper back. And then another variation is crossing your arms over. Give yourself a nice big hug. That's going to spread your shoulder blades apart, and try to work that area right between your shoulder blades, really digging in as much as you can. Right? And you can even work a little bit sort of side to side. Sometimes with that one, I'll even take the roller. I'll go vertical along the spine. Okay, this one's kind of fun. You can kind of shift to one side, shift to the other side. In some ways, this ends up being almost more of a core exercise. If you want to work with a ball, you can also do that right there between the shoulder blades. from that sort of chest hug position. Oh yeah, woo, yeah, hang out here, you'll find something. I could almost guarantee you will find something there in the shoulder blades if you go with the ball option, all right? The roller's a nice place to start. We've just upgraded our dish. It got a little bit spicier up in here. Oh yeah, and breathe, just reminding myself. Okay. Right? Take a look at your ceiling, right? Notice your lights. Find something new to look at. Because in a moment, we're actually going to move into kind of a closing practice, just getting tuned to our senses. So take one more breath. If there's any other stretch or position you'd like to be in here, and just kind of giving yourself a moment to kind of move things around. Right? In some ways, I feel like we didn't do justice, all right, to the releasing and to the stretching that we could do. But I want you to take all of these as starting points, as ideas that you can play with here on your own, in your home, right? Any of these releases you could hold for much, much longer. You could work with, forever, for the rest of your life, because your body's always going to be holding tension. Every day your body's going to be a little bit different. So it's, again, tuning in, listening, noticing what's there. And again, I want to empower you to have some tools, some options, some knowledge that you can use to work with that, so you can come back to a place that's a little more balanced, a little bit more at ease, a little bit more relaxed, doing this not only for your body, but for your mind, for your own sanity, your own peace. So I'd like to come into our closing practice. You can do this lying down if you want to just hang out on your mat, or if you want to sit on your roller, sort of a nice option. If you'd like to stand up, you can certainly do this standing up. Okay? And just finding a position that works for you for the next 6-7 minutes, okay? And so let's go on a little journey of the senses. Let's start with your visual sense, right? Right now, you're looking at a phone, a tablet, a device, right? And just name that. You're like, oh, what is that? That's a phone. I want you to find 4 other objects in your room, and I want you just to look at them, name them, and then really take them in, right? So I can see, the plant. And you're like, oh, look at the colors, look at the shapes. There's a plant in the room. Right? Maybe I see a shoe. You're like, oh, looking at the shoe. Right? Find something new. Maybe challenge yourself. I know you've been in your home a lot, and you're like, I know this place up and down. Have you really looked in that corner over there? Do you know what's over there? Do you know what your smoke detector looks like? You know what your fire alarm looks like? Do you know what the outlet on your wall looks like? Have you really actually looked at it? So just taking an opportunity, right? It's just opening our senses visually. And then, if you feel comfortable, I'm going to have you close your eyes. And I want you to tune in to the sense of hearing. And I want you to see if you can identify 4 sounds that are present in your environment right now. One of them might be the sound of my voice. But what else is here? What else is present? And so just get really quiet and just ask, what can I hear? Maybe it's other humans, maybe it's air conditioning, maybe it's traffic. And then just ask, can you hear the sound of yourself breathing? And just tune into that for a moment. Notice, what does it sound like to breathe in? What does it sound like to breathe out? And be like, oh yeah, that was interesting, let's do that again. What does it sound like to breathe in? What does it sound like to breathe out? And now that you've brought your awareness internally, I want you to move to 4 different places in your body. So tune your attention into 4 different body parts. same way that we just did with sights and with sounds. So maybe just starting up in your head, just like, this is what it feels like to be in my headspace. And take a breath there. And then move your awareness to a different part of your body. Maybe notice your butt sitting on the ground or lying, right? And just take a breath there. Like, oh, this is what it feels like. And then moving your awareness to some other area of your body. And just tune in. Take a breath. And then challenge yourself. Is there some part of your body that you're not used to tuning into? Like your big toe or your earlobe? Can you go there? Can you feel into your left earlobe right now? Just like notice how you can walk, shift, glide your awareness sort of down somewhere towards your ear. And then coming back. And then I'm going to have you, if you'd like, just taking one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. Notice now that points of contact of your hand on your body. And then as you breathe in, I want you to feel your belly rise, feel your chest rise. And as you exhale, feel that gentle hand moving down. And if you don't feel comfortable with this, that's fine. Just keeping your hands down by your side. You have to breathe to stay alive. Breathing in, letting it go. And then just push a little bit harder with those hands. Really feel that pressure and that contact, right? As a reminder. It's just you saying to yourself, like, I'm here for you. It's like you telling your body, hey, I've got you. Breathe it in. Feel that support. Feel that softening in your body. Just giving that reassurance back to yourself. That you're here, partners, teammates. 2 more deep breaths. If you feel comfortable, you can just sort of let your arms relax wherever they feel like they should be right now. You can slowly open your eyes if you have them closed. And this is your chance to check in. Again, noticing the state of your body and your mind. And I always like to end with some gratitude. Gratitude for having the opportunity to practice. Gratitude for having the space and the tools to do these things. Gratitude to being able to do it virtually. Although it can be awkward teaching into a tiny little box. I know that there's lots of you out there in your own homes, just dropping into your bodies, moving, doing things that you haven't done before, breathing, like that really makes me happy. So thank you. And just tremendous gratitude to the whole BKBX team, Hannah, Dan, Jillian, Dana, Genevieve, Everly, Brooklyn Bowlers, and everybody beyond, again, as I said, who isn't here doing this practice right now because they're somewhere else doing something vital and essential and important. So thank you all so much. Again, my name is Jeff Siegel. You can follow me at Jeff Siegel Wellness on Instagram, Facebook. Tune in for more BKBX and Brooklyn Bowlers content coming out every single day. We got killer workouts. We got all sorts of fun stuff, so you can check that out. And just shoot a little direct message at the bottom. However you are feeling, just type in right now, like what is your body telling you? What is coming up for you? I'd love to hear that. So thank you, everybody. Until next time, breathe and smile.